And then next, we are going to the second example. This is matrix B. The question asks you, find the inverse of matrix B by using elementary row operation. Okay, step number 1, you have to write an augmented matrix. This is an augmented matrix. Matrix B, you put it together with matrix identity. Okay, step number 1, we will obtain 0 in the first column. Okay, look at first column. In first column, the element in first column is number 2, 1, and -2. We are going to replace number in row 3 and the number in row 2 to become 0. So this is the formula. Replace row number 2 by using formula 2 row 2 minus row number 1. And for the third row, we replace third rows by using formula row 3 plus row number 1. So in this formula, for second row, you have to multiply second row by number 2, and then you deduct with row number 1. So this is the answer, which is you have to replace row number 2 and row number 3, and we will keep all the numbers in row number 1. And now we are finished to obtain 0 for the first column. Next, we are going to the second column. The element in second column is -4, 8, and 7. Now, we will obtain 0 for the first row and row number 3. You are combine it together, which is the first row. The formula is 8 row number 1 plus 4 row number 2. And then for the third row, we replace third row by using formula 8 row number 3 plus 7 row number 2. For this formula, which is 8 row 1, means that you have to multiply the element in row number 1 by number 8, and then plus with 4 times by row number 2. So, and then after that, for row number 3, you have to multiply it by number 8, and then plus with 7 row number 2. Okay class, after we finish to obtain 0 for the first column, which is we get 16, 0, 0. Second column, 0, 8, 0. And then now, we are going to replace 0 on the third column. Third column in row number 1 and third column in row number 2. I'm going to use the formula is row number 1, replace row number 1 using formula 3 times by row number 1 plus 4 times by row number 3. And then to replace row number 2, I'm going to use 3 row 2 minus 5 row number 3. Okay, next step is, this is diagonal matrix with 0 everywhere. You only have the value in the leading diagonal. So to change this diagonal matrix to identity matrix, you have to replace the number on the diagonal to the number 1. What we need to do is, you only divide it by its number. Just here, in the first row, you have number 48. To get number 1, you only multiply the first row by 1 over 48. Second row, multiply by 1 over 24. And finally, for the third row, multiply it by 1 over -3. Okay, we have finished to do elementary row operation. On the left hand side, you already have matrix identity. How about the right hand side? The element in the right hand side is 16 over 48 or 1 over 3, 5 over 3, 2 over 3, negative 1 over 3, negative 8 over 3, negative 5 over 3 for the second row. And finally for the third row, negative 1 over 3, negative 14 over 3 and negative 8 over 3. So this is the inverse of matrix B.